uncertainty of a new administration in Washington. As I said, we've done this before. We've been through this. And
isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact, I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction that is.
You condemn white supremacy. And he fuddled around, didn't say anything. I said, how about the Proud Boys? And he said, well,
Ronald Reagan was 2 months into his presidency when John Hinckley Jr. blew a $20 million. About blowing up the White House.
If you want to really see something that said, take a look what happened.
I want to take this message to talk to your viewers real quick about the story, the conversation we need to have now. The BOP is wasting lots of tax dollars in frivolous spending, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am the host, Barry Ramey, of this program known as The American Rising, or Unknown, really. We're a brand new project in the War Boy studio. And yeah, so we'll just jump right the fuck into it. You know, we're not your mommy show. We cuss a lot. So if that offends you, I want to preemptively let you know I don't give a shit. And we're going to do that a lot. So Iran has recently just launched a missile at Israel. Alerts came over approximately about an hour and a half ago. I knew they were going to be retaliating. I thought it would probably be in the morning. So far, it looks like it wasn't much. It was just a little rocket attack, but we are monitoring the situation. I'm going to bring up, I found a live stream that's got a couple cameras up. In all honesty, it's not really exciting. So in the meantime, and here shortly, we're going to go ahead and make fun of some libs, because you know what? I haven't really been able to do that a lot, and that seems like it's going to be some fun. So just to get into this real quick, some developing things in the Israel and Iran debacle. One of the Iranian higher ups, whatever the fuck it is, I don't think it was the Ayatollah, went to Russia today, I believe, and had a meeting with the Ruskies over there. And there is some footage of the conversations that were had. I'm just looking into it. But it is a pretty weird posture for those of us normal fucking people that don't want to see a war, do not want to see America get dragged into another war. The Ruskies and the Iranians meeting is probably not the best of things. So yeah, what we're looking at is a couple different cameras right now. About
Hi, Mr.
an
Wonderful
hour
here.
ago,
You know, I don't waste time, and I definitely don't waste
So about an
money.
hour ago,
I joined Star Engine business for
Iran alarms went off throughout Israel, and it looked like there was about one little pathetic rocket that came over. I don't know if that's an indication that Iran is running out of arms and munitions, and they're being depleted. But I can say that, you know, if I was them, I would want to wear out their Iron Dome missiles. So I would send up a bunch of crappy missiles to be shot down, which we've seen them do. We've seen them send these really pathetic, weak attempts, and of course, a lot of that was intercepted by the Iron Dome. And but now Israel is reporting, and there are reports, reliable reports, that Israel is not it does not have the capabilities to keep their Iron Dome's defense missile mechanisms fed with ammunition. So it does seem that has been the problem. And right now, you have a desperate Iran. So they have two options here. They either, on one hand, they can surrender and submit and come to the negotiation table, which Iran is not known for really doing very well, or they can go all the fuck out. And I really think that the go all the fuck out option is probably where they're going to go with this. And I do think it's going to be soon. Now, how hardcore they're able to go the fuck out on, that is to be foreseen. And it's going to be really telling about Iran's ability to keep any kind of front going. Now, remember, something that Iran is really good at is these proxy groups that it creates and funds. Hezbollah, you've got the Houthis, and of course, whatever remains of Hamas are still struggling to survive over there. But nonetheless, there are some serious threats surrounding Israel. So can Israel fight a three-front war? I don't believe they can. I want to be very clear. I don't, as far as I know, anybody on the Warboy Studio network is not for America getting involved in a war. We're not at all under any circumstances. And I do think that it is a high potential to happen. For me, I understand. I'm not trying to play both sides of the fence here. Okay. I understand the sentiment in the people that are like, Trump, fuck you, dude. You messed up. You lied to us and you messed up and you're dragging us into another war. Please don't do that. I get that. All right. For me personally, I'm not going to be so quick to rush to judgment when we haven't seen boots on the ground. Yes, we're posturing, but the whole point of having a stance in this world, the whole point of having to reestablish the fear and respect that we've lost militarily speaking around the world, that the previous administration has done so lovely and damaging, we're going to have to posture. The only way that your punch is feared is if people know you can throw one. So let's not doubt yet that this could have been a long thought out process, that they cut off the head of the snake in the Ayatollah in this very oppressive regime, a truly oppressive regime, one in which I wish these little overprivileged fucktards from Berkeley University would go over there so they could see what the fuck it's like to be oppressed, instead of bitching on a fucking iPhone, drinking out of a Starbucks cup in their $30,000 fucking, Kia fucking hybrid, bitching about America being oppressed. I wish they'd go over there in Iran, but I digress. Okay, so, but you have that repressive regime. These people are hungry. The Iranian people, they know what modernization is, still alive today, just back before 79, before this group took over. These people lived, very, very modernized. They lived comfortably. They want it back. They want to have these times back. Okay, so they have a high potential, and we've seen them do this. The Iranian government, guys, I think I'm assuming a lot of people watching this stream tonight know the facts and the history of the Iranian government. They're fucking brutal. Okay, they're fucking brutal. So when these little far leftist motherfuckers go out there and throw their little temper tantrums in the street against LAPD and NYPD, sure, those guys can be brutal too, but nothing like it's over there. Okay, so just to point that out. And we have seen in the last several years many attempts that were quickly stomped out, but many attempts by the Iranian people to fight back against their oppressive government. That's bravery, man. That's some serious fucking bravery, because a lot of those people disappear. They die. They don't come back. They're gone forever. So when you see the Iranian people rise up and take a chance, that is a clear indication that there is an undying hunger within these people to be liberated. And let's not assume that these strategic strikes on Iran may end here. Okay. Now, if they don't, I'm not going to be very happy about it. I do not support it. Okay. And I will go ahead and say that I'm very upset. I am not one of these people that is going to defend Trump no matter what he does, even if he does wrong. But I did not sign up for this to just hit a little speed bump or get a little bit static and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to turn on the president and the America First agenda. You're not going to see that over here. You can call me a simp. You can call me whatever the fuck you want to call me. There's not much I have not been called in this lifetime. So the reason I'm up here putting myself out there and voicing my opinions, as controversial as some people may find them, is because I don't give a shit what people say. I'm going to speak my truths, whether you like them or not, and we can have a civil debate. And if you want to sling mud and throw punches and insults, I'm capable of that too. In fact, we're going to have a little fun. I haven't really on my show, as we're just developing. We're a brand new project here in the American Rising. We're developing, and you know, part of me, I'm sorry. I think the antics, the ideology, and some of the shit that the left does and has the audacity to record it or have it be recorded is fucking hilarious. One thing that I'll say in this, that people I wish on the right, and we're getting there fast. People need to understand that shaming works. Okay, shaming works. Let's take the most extreme example, and I do mean the most extreme example on this planet Earth: a fucking pedophile. They're disgusting human beings that should not be walking the planet. And I don't think anybody watching me right here tonight would disagree with that. Okay, so they should be shamed at every facet, at every corner, at every nook and every cranny that life makes them walk through. They should be shamed. If they are exposed and you know who they are, they should be shamed. And shaming works. These people should not be allowed out in public with their head up and be held high and mighty as if their existence isn't representation of actual human fucking fungus and slime that should be stomped on the bottom of a fucking boot and then discarded and burnt. Their life is meaningless, and they should feel this way inside. And this is my humble opinion, but I'm sticking with it, and I refuse to apologize for having it. We do this and we accept this notion that they should be shamed because we know that shaming works. Now let's take it down a couple notches. What's under that? Well, how about drag queen story hour for kids? There is not a necessity on this planet that you can show me that kids need to be exposed to that. Drag queens, it is a fetish. It is a sexualized thing. I'm not going to shame people for being into that. If you want to be into that, I think America speaks very clearly. You have every fucking right. What you do as an adult in your bedroom, in your lifestyle, in your free time is none of my fucking business. And quite frankly, if anybody was telling you you weren't able to do that, I would say that they were wrong. But subjecting children that have not developed in the hormonal process, that have not gone through puberty yet, that don't even understand what they're fucking looking at, to sit there and say that you're subjecting them to teach them some kind of tolerance, I don't think that's that at all. That's indoctrination. And these people need to be shamed at every walk of life. So you are starting to see more of that, and that's what we're going to get into today. We'll go back and forth and watch these cameras. I don't really suspect anything to pop off tonight. Iran did fire that one little thing, so I came live to monitor it because you never know with Iran. They're pretty fucking sneaky. So I suspect that they're in a state of desperation. So at any moment we could get notification that, okay, they popped off. They're sending some shit in Israel's way. I'm concerned because we do have assets over there. So I want to make sure that the men and women that serve this great nation known as America, that they're safe and knowing what's coming, in my opinion, is knowledge is power and half the battle. So I want to know what's really going on. So we're waiting to see if Iran actually does pop off. I'm suspecting it could possibly happen, and that little, we all know what a warning shot is, and I believe that one we seen approximately a little over an hour ago was a warning shot. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into what we're going to do in the meantime. You may, from this point going forward, if you choose to stick around and watch the show, you may actually lose a couple fucking brain cells. You know why? Because we're going to get a little stupid today. Life's a blessing. We're stuck here on this planet, suspended an infinite amount of fucking space, going 1,000,000 miles an hour around a giant ball of sun that at any fucking moment can swallow us. And we sit here on planet Earth and bicker about the dumbest shit. But you know what? Let's continue on that trend, and let's have some fun with some libtards today. I used to be able to do this quite often, and ever since being released from federal prison, I have not been able to make fun of them. Now, this one isn't so much of making fun of them here, but I'm gonna go ahead and bring you to X, and we'll talk about what's going on with this no king shit for a second, because they are going to pick that up again on July 4th. You knew this was coming. So let's go over here. Bear with me for a quick second. July 4th, yeah, there's another group that is behind this. I forget the name of them. I have it written down, and they're known to be a more nefarious group. And they're calling for organizations around the country on July 4th to continue this no kings bullshit. And I will say that they were a little successful, because we still have no kings. So let's see what we got. I don't know why I can't get you guys sound on that. And let's see.
Let me fill you in.
With the sound.
A press.
Okay, well, I figured that we'll talk about this no kings bullshit. So, yeah, they're calling for protests around the country. No Kings 2.0, even though it's not the original shit baskets that that threw the first one. So they're calling for these things around the country, pretty much all of the same spots that they did last time, which I find kind of ironic. But they are planning to do this, and of course, it has everybody on edge. And if you followed the show, you know that me and Enrique Tario did go out to the Miami No Kings protest, and we were pretty much surrounded by a few thousand wild animals. And and let me be fair. I talk a lot of shit, but and I was hoping that they would get a little crazy, but it really didn't. As far as leftists are concerned, there was a lot of screaming and yelling and calling us Nazis and bigots and traitors and insurrectionists. But they honestly were overall well behaved. Okay, if this was any other city, Enrique and I probably would have got our faces torn off. So the point that I'm getting at, America, is I am not encouraging violence. In fact, I am encouraging the exact opposite. You're never going to hear me say, don't defend yourself. If somebody assaults you or your loved ones or your family ones, then you make self-defense. Self-defense look like assault. Okay. But we should go out there. We should be rallying the American people to get in the faces of these protesters peacefully and patriotically. And I mean that. I truly mean that. But we need to go out there and we need to wave our United States, our U.S. flags proudly and vigorously. And we need to be adjacent from these trash baskets that go out there and burn the American flag, that don't stand for our values, that are in our face telling us to go fuck ourselves. We should be out there on July 4th and saying, hey, you know what? Here we are. We're not afraid. This is my MAGA hat. This is my flag. You got a problem with it? Well, you can kiss my ass. So I do feel that we have a moral obligation because of the symbolic nature of that day in and of itself. But we can't let the terrorist win. And let's face it, America, the Democrat Party has become just that. I'm not saying that all Democrats are that, but their party in a whole, it has become a communist unit that defends criminals, sex offenders, Marxist ideology, and it does not have the American people's best interest at mind when it goes behind closed doors and does its job, which is only supposed to be formulating and passing legislation that benefits the constituents that send them to office. This is not what the Democrats do. And I'm not saying the Republicans are better, okay? There's a lot of trash baskets in the Republicans, and that one I do blame on conservatives for being so notorious for not showing up to primaries and voting these fucking rhinos out of office, hoping that happens. And I'm also hoping that this Iran situation does not fuck us in the midterms, which it very well could if it escalates to a higher level. So, yeah, definitely something there. So go ahead and watch these cameras real quick. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to try to fix this sound issue that we've got going on. And I'm going to bring you guys back up to speed. And we're going to hopefully make fun of some libs here momentarily. So I'm going to share this Israeli cam thing. And we're going to make fun of liberals. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to be making fun of liberals in the fashion that I wanted to, because we are having a problem, technical difficulties getting sound streaming from the other side. So, we'll dive back into this Iran thing, because this is going to be an issue one way or the other. And one thing that I'm worried about, I think the writing's on the wall, and it just makes sense based upon, the past history of the DNC and some of their dark, shadowy funding and the 2020 crap. I really do believe that they're going to try to tie in the Iranian-Israel thing, rally up the pro-Hamas Palestinian people in the college campuses and bring them into the no kings thing and mesh the two together. and really pick up a notch, a couple notches of the fuel, the fire and the fuel they're trying to spread across the country prior to the midterms. So it's something to watch about, and keep your eye on. And if you do go out to the No Kings things and you are going to counter protest, keep your head on a swivel and be safe. Don't let them get the footage that they're looking for, where patriotic Americans that love this country are responsible for creating the violence at their protests. They are the ones that need to be shown in the light that they dwell in, which is fucking darkness, if you ask me. So don't take the bait, but do go out if you find it within you to do so. I do think that people need to organize and get back in their face and allow these people to see that we aren't afraid. We are still here. Just be very careful that you don't succumb to their bullshit and you get blamed. It's a lot easier for me to say being down in Miami because we have a lot of conservatives in the state of Florida. In fact, I'm actually in a county north of Miami, and I'm in the last real solid blue front in Florida. We're hoping to work on that, but but you guys out there in DC and New York and Chicago and shit like that, there's a greater risk. There's a much greater risk. So I do want everyone to be safe, but this is our country. Our country is worth standing up for, and it's worth fighting for, and it's worth celebrating and being proud of. So it's just a crazy time that we're living in. So ladies and gentlemen, I will continue to follow this Iran thing develop. If it does pop off, I will go live again. If you follow right now on X at the American Rise, you see it up in the thing and the title of the post of this live stream. Go ahead and take the time to follow it so you know that when we go live, we're going to be going live sporadically. If something pops off at 4 o'clock in the morning, then I will take it live there too. So we'll keep monitoring the situation. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and give us a follow here on X and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. I'm going to end the stream and see if anything continues and look for more feeds to bring, and pray for our soldiers and pray for our country that we don't get dragged into another fucking debacle. So with that being said, my name is Barry Ramey, host of the American Rising. Unless you play for the NFL, never take